Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Laura and I make lifestyle vlogs about living my life here in New York City. So if you don't know this, I've actually lived here for 5 years now, and believe it or not, I've lived in 5 different apartments. So I think it would be so cool if I took you guys along and showed you all the other neighborhoods that I've lived in since I've moved here. So I'll be taking you to Queens and other neighborhoods in Manhattan. I'm so excited for this. It's gonna be super interesting, and I'm just gonna share with you the things that I've liked and disliked about living in these locations. So if you're thinking about moving to New York City, this is a good maybe beginner's guide or just like my opinion on certain things. So I am so pumped. This is so weird going back to places that I haven't been to in 5 years. But before we get going, don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and let's head out to Queens. A couple months ago, I actually recorded a video of things I wish I knew before moving to New York City. So I will try to link that above for you, just so you can take a look at it. The one good thing about Astoria is it's a 35-minute commute, give or take, from Manhattan. So once you're on the train, it's like 35 minutes and you're taken into Midtown, which then gives you access to all of the major subways, and you can just really get around. I'll elaborate more once we get there. This is just based on my experience of living in these places. So do your research. Maybe if you're thinking about moving here, do all the research you can, obviously, but also if you live in these places and you love them, like, not hating, just giving you my opinion. One thing I wanted to mention is the subway coming here is partially above ground, which is great because half of the train ride you can be on your phone because you have cell phone service. But the other problem is that a lot of times in the winter when it snows, they have a lot of delays and they even shut the train down. So when I lived here, I had a lot of issues with that. And I remember having to call out of work because of the train not running. So I don't know if that's a really good excuse or you're just lucky, but that's just something to consider. They put TJ Maxx in there. Wow. I do remember when I was living here that there was a very limited options with shopping, and I was just spending so much time in the city on the weekends, which is ultimately the reason why I needed to get out of here, because I was just obviously commuting into the city all the time for work, and then obviously on the weekends I was always doing my shopping in Manhattan. So it took roughly like 30 minutes to get here, so really not bad at all. Okay, so now we're headed to my old apartment. It wasn't a far walk from the subway, which was really nice and very convenient, especially when it was raining and whatnot. But we'll see if it's changed. Another thing that I wanted to mention is Astoria is known for having the best food ever. And I've always wanted to go to this Greek restaurant right over here. Never went, but I remember the lines used to be crazy for it. Some of the best food I've ever had in my whole life I've had here. Sushi, Thai food, pizza, chicken parm, all like the top best I've ever had. Here's my street. Has not changed a bit. So much more quiet here compared to Manhattan. So this was my very first apartment right here, and we were on the 2nd floor. It was in 2016 that I moved here, and it only cost around $1,000. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. I had 2 roommates at the time, and the apartment was beautiful. I'm gonna try to insert pictures if I can, but it was gorgeous, like brand new. The kitchen was so nice. The bathrooms were newly redone, and my landlord lived underneath us, so super convenient. And he was like younger and really like receptive. That's like a huge problem I feel like in the city, is landlords that just aren't available, or they just like don't care. But yeah, so weird to be back here. This is it. I wish we could go in, but I think I have some pretty good pictures to share with you guys. So cute, right? I'm sweating. Just wanted to say, I'm not sure if you can tell from the photo, but I had a very tiny room. It was so small. However, being that I did have the smallest room, my roommates and I decided that I would be able to have this little extra room in there, which basically was a walk-in closet for me. So honestly, it worked out. Like, my bedroom was just my bed and like a dresser, so I was able to get ready and whatnot. So it worked out, but that's why I wrote that there was a walk-in closet, because I was able to have a little room that was dedicated to a closet, which was great. I wasn't running frequently like I do now when I lived here. I was going to a gym here, but did you hear that? Anyways, there's a park here called Astoria Park, and I think we'll go walk to that next. But it's just like a really cute park right on the water. It's probably like 20-minute walk max. Let's head there now. And suddenly I feel like I'm transported back to my 23-year-old self being here. But I love the neighborhood vibes here. I would definitely recommend, if you're coming from a small town, to consider living here. It's just like a good adjustment to move here. That's how I felt anyway. I came from a small town in Pennsylvania and adjusted here to the city life, because it was definitely overwhelming for sure. So just like getting acclimated to the city by still being outside of the city really helped me. You know, you just have to take the train in to get to Manhattan, and by the end of the workday you are able to come escape here, which is more quiet and just much more of a neighborhood vibe. It was definitely nice to come back here after an overwhelming day in the city, especially I was just in the workforce, like my early years into working, so a lot of stressful days, but it felt nice to come here and kind of just relax. Kind of felt like home in a way. There are no high-rises in sight here, just all little houses. That's what really gives it a neighborhood feel. I have notes here so I don't miss anything, but one thing I do want to mention is you get more for your money here. So being that it is outside of the city, you just get a larger space for what you're paying for. So what you pay for a studio apartment here would be a shoebox in Manhattan, you know what I mean? What Astoria's like. I just stopped to get a coffee from McDonald's. Yes, I did. It's so cheap and it tastes so good. But now we're headed on the train back to Manhattan. Okay, we're coming up on apartment number 2. I lived here with an ex-boyfriend. We are in the Upper East Side. Love it up here. It's great for young professionals and you get a decent amount of space for your money. I'm excited to show you this one. So I used to live above this sushi restaurant on the 3rd floor, and believe it or not, we never had a problem with bugs or anything like that, which was really nice. And I think I paid around $1,100 for that. Only problem was, since it's on the main strip right here, main road, it was very loud at night. But the apartment was cute. It was a nice little change from Astoria, and I was super excited to be in Manhattan. So I will show you what the door looks like in just a second. So this was it. I love this neighborhood. It's like one of my favorites in all of Manhattan. It's the best. But I was there for about a year, and I was so happy to be in Manhattan and not having to do that commute anymore, because I hated it. So I also wanted to mention that we were on the 3rd floor, but it was only like 2 flights of steps that you had to walk up, so it wasn't bad. But the problem was that there was no laundry, so you always had to bring it to a wash and fold, which was really annoying. That was also the same problem with my apartment in Astoria. I always had to drop it off somewhere, and I always hated that because they always dry your underwear until they're like crisp. So I hated that. Also had an exterminator come at that apartment like once a month. That definitely helped with not having a bug problem, which was good, because you definitely think that if you lived above a sushi restaurant, you would definitely think that there would be a bug problem, but never was. To Hudson Yards. This is the 3rd apartment that I lived in, and I hated it. So I actually moved in. I was in a 4th floor walk-up, and this area was very much up and coming at the time, so there really wasn't much going on, and it was during the, and I just didn't like it. The only thing that was nice is it's so close to the water, but there's limited transportation around here, and it's like in the middle of Manhattan. I'll show you a map, but a lot of times I just felt like I was walking everywhere, and everywhere was like an hour walk. My shoes definitely got worn out, so I will take you guys along. There is good shopping around here. They just put in a mall with a bunch of really nice restaurants, and it has like a Zara and H&M. There's a Whole Foods over here, and then right over here is the Vessel, and I will show you guys that as well. You can buy tickets to go on the Vessel. There's also a Soul Cycle over here, and yeah, this area is really nice now, but you guys will see when I show you my old apartment. So the mall is right over there. There is the Vessel, and then there's Equinox and Soul Cycle right over there. And then the water's right up there. I don't know if you can even see that. Let's go to my apartment now. So I should actually elaborate, and I got a steal on the apartment that I stayed in, and it was a 3-bedroom apartment, 1.5 bathrooms, and again, really nice kitchen. Like, it was all redone. The only thing that was weird was the floors weren't finished. They were like grainy on the wood floors. Just the overall area was kind of sketchy, if you will. I just never really felt safe walking around. I always felt on edge. It's close to Port Authority and Penn Station, so it's really convenient in that aspect, but that also comes with homeless people and all of that. It has been a good 1.5 years since I've been here and like been outside of the apartment, so we'll see how this goes. Also, there's always construction going on around here because it is an up and coming area. I mean, granted, they've done a lot of nice things to it, so I don't mean to sound negative. And so the train actually wasn't far, but this specific train only runs east to west of the city. So you're limited, because most of the time when I was, you know, doing whatever I needed to do, when I needed a train for it, normally have to go either up or down. It's very rare that I was going east to west, if that makes sense. So you can just see all the high rises going in around here. But considering it's so close to the water over here, this is where I started running all the time, because during the, you know, I had no choice because all the gyms were closed. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start running on the water. So that's where my whole running journey began. It's just so weird, like walking along all the streets that I used to walk along like every single day. Just a very weird feeling. I also think that this apartment I hated even more because I just have like really bad memories tied to it. So I'll show you guys in just a sec. So this is 10th Avenue and 37th Street. As you can tell, it's just not homey at all. There's no neighborhood vibe to it. Like, there's a gas station right there, and I just hated it. So this is it. This is apartment number 3. I was on the 4th floor. So it was a 6-story walk up in there. Don't miss it at all. This was the block. There's like a bridge down there. The one thing that I did love is there's a grocery store right up over here. There's like a boxing club over here. But yeah, just really was not a fan. So obviously living down here, I was paying for the convenience of being closer to being downtown. But this is just so far west that I just wasn't a fan of it. I could not pass up that deal though. It was literally like $1,000 a month. I was like, this is crazy. My bedroom was huge, by the way. I'll try to insert pictures as well, but yeah, 4, 5, 6. 6th floor walk up is not fun, by the way. Especially when you have bags full of groceries. It's just not ideal. That's where I started my YouTube channel though. If you're an OG follower, you would have known what that kitchen looks like in there. Okay, so now I'm gonna take you guys to the water, just show you what that's like, and then we are headed to apartment number 4. So again, just construction. This is just about the same block that we were just on. Can't really complain that much. Like, this was basically my backyard. So if you just don't care about neighborhood vibes, then that's the place for you. Okay, so we made it to the West Side Highway. So if the neighborhood vibe isn't your thing, but you want to be by the water, this is a good option of a neighborhood to live in. I personally miss this side, being on the west side on the water, because it's just really nice. And back behind me, the further down you go, you can see the Freedom Tower, and it's just such a beautiful view. And they have a ton of piers down there, and you can sit on them in the grass, so it's really nice. So let's head to apartment number 4. Also, when I say negative things, just please know that I'm still incredibly grateful for being able to live here and experience everything, and even being able to live in these neighborhoods. Like, it's so cool. I feel like I have to put a disclaimer on everything. And also, every neighborhood has pros and cons, right? So not everything is gonna check off all the boxes, and if it does, it's gonna be an astronomical price for the apartment. So even when you're apartment searching and everything, you're always gonna have to give and take, and just have to not get everything you want, unless you're paying a lot of money for it. But one good thing is the ferry is right over here on the west side, and you can easily take that over to New Jersey, to Hoboken. So that's really convenient. And obviously Port Authority and Penn Station are over here, like I said before. Eat tacos on a boat. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? So you go out on that boat. It's like a Mexican restaurant. That's so cool. Have to come back here and go there. Okay, coming up on apartment number 4. If you guys have been subscribed for a while, you probably know and remember this apartment. I will link the video. I'm sure a lot of you came from that video, so thank you. I'm happy you're here. But I will show you guys the outside just so you have an idea of what it looks like. But yes, this is the apartment tour video that I posted about 6 months ago, and I don't need to explain why I don't live here anymore, because if you follow my channel, you would know what's going on. If you want to know, just go back and watch. Here it is. I didn't hate living here. Obviously, it was a beautiful apartment, but I hated that there was no grocery store nearby. That's one. It's like kind of far away. So I always had to like schlep the groceries, or like my boyfriend Leo would help me do that. But it was just like a pain, a real pain. And I mean, obviously you could get them delivered, but you guys know I enjoy grocery shopping. That's like my therapy. And living in this building was incredible. Don't get me wrong. It was amazing. I also, again, hated the area. I always felt on edge when I would leave my apartment. I also didn't really leave my apartment that much because I just didn't enjoy walking around this area. I mean, granted, being by the water is so nice, but this surrounding area, like this block, like there's a Starbucks over there, but that's about it. So yeah, do you guys know Jen Selter? Because she lives here too. And there's other YouTubers that live here, but I'm not gonna name everyone, so. All right, so that's everything. And also there's a Lifetime gym, so I was going there all the time, which was so convenient. Like that's definitely gonna be my next goal. My next apartment is gonna have a gym in the apartment. But yeah, this place is gorgeous. I can't say any bad things, other than one bad thing that I could say is there's no full-size oven in the apartment, which I was not a fan of. I think I mentioned that in my apartment tour video. And had washer and dryer in unit. That was a 10 out of 10. So again, it's a give and take. Like, do you love the actual apartment but not the area? Do you get all the amenities but still not like the area? I don't know. These are the New York City struggles, you know? They also have a full-size basketball court in the Lifetime, which I miss playing basketball there as well, because that was sick. It is what it is though. And one thing about living around here, there's so much traffic. It's just not enjoyable to walk around here. So the nearest subway to get around, mostly like the main hub, is in Times Square. That's how close this place is to Times Square. So it is a 20-minute walk to get to the subway, which is very annoying. And also walking to Times Square when you need to take the train, like if you're working or something, it's just so not enjoyable. in apartment number 5. So I didn't want to show outside just because security reasons, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little journey with me. Every apartment has some sort of charm, some sort of pro and con to it, but I am so happy to be living in my own space. This is the first time I've ever lived on my own completely, and I just love it. I love that I can decorate how I want. I love that I can walk around naked when I want. I like that I can eat any time of day. I can wake up and do whatever I want at any time. So I highly recommend living on your own if you can. It's great. So what a freaking day it's been though. I'm sweating, I'm dying. Whew. So I didn't want to leave you guys hanging. I wanted to let you know that an apartment tour is coming soon with all the details of everything in this apartment. So I will be working on that. Please let me know your feedback if you liked this style of video. It was exhausting, but it was fun. And this is like my whole journey of how I got here. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. So hope you enjoyed, and thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one.